Hey guys, I hope you're having a great day. In my journey in life, I've been blessed to live in three different continents. And during this time, I've had numerous opportunities to interact with a considerable number of diverse groups of millennials and Generation Z. And during my interactions, I've come to realize that many young people have great aspirations, dreams, and goals. They want to succeed. We all want to succeed. Everybody desires one form of success or the other, whether it be success in career, success in finances, in family, in health, in businesses. Everybody wants one form of success or the other. Sadly, many people who desire success violate one of the fundamental principles of success, and that is you cannot have what you cannot think. In other words, your hands cannot handle the things your mind cannot conceive. You see, because every form of creation and every achievement begins with an idea, a thought, a fragment of our imagination. It makes it so that we as humans can create nothing that has not been planted by the impulse of a thought in our minds. Now, the good news is that we hold the key to the gate of our minds. In other words, you determine the thoughts that goes into your mind, and you, more importantly, determine and control the thoughts that stays in your mind. Now, it's crucial for you to understand this because every thought has a tendency to put on the clothes of its physical equivalent. You see, every thought impulse, once properly planted in the mind, immediately begins to translate itself, at some point, translate itself to its physical equivalent, whether those thoughts are voluntary or involuntary thoughts. A practical example would be the crash of Wall Street in 1929. You see, this crash compelled many Americans to begin to think thoughts of poverty. Now, this chain of mass thinking led to the crystallization of this thought of poverty, which is what we know as the Depression. This had to happen because it conforms with the law of nature. If you think thoughts of poverty, you would eventually end up poor. You see, it doesn't matter how well you try to eat healthy and exercise and try to be fit. If your thoughts contradict the positive actions you're taking to whatever success you want, that thought will restrict you from obtaining the result of your actions. So even if you're investing, you're making investments in stock, in cryptocurrencies, you're doing well in business, if you keep on thinking thoughts of poverty, that thought would restrict you from attaining the result of your actions. You need to change the way you think. Begin to think positive thoughts about yourself. Stop thinking thoughts of inferiority and start thinking thoughts of superiority. You see, a well-notable doctor once estimated that 75% of the people who visit the hospital suffer from what is called hypochondria. I personally call that mental illness. What that means is the fear of a sickness, even when it's not an imminent threat. You see, it has been proven quite convincingly that the fear of a sickness or a disease, even when there is no slightest cause for that fear, would result in the physical symptoms of the disease feared. This points to one very crucial fact. The human mind is powerful and mighty. It can create and it can destroy. The good news is you have control over that mind. I'll give you another example. For you guys, for instance, let's say you've seen a girl out there at your place of work or at the restaurant, and you're like, that girl is beautiful. I like that girl, and I want to make her my girlfriend. Now, that's a thought, okay? That's an idea you've planted in your mind. What happens is your mind goes into work immediately, bringing you suggestions on how to convert that thought of I want to make this girl my girlfriend into its physical equivalent of actually having her as a girlfriend. So listen, your mind has two faculties. There's the synthetic faculty of your mind and there is the creative or the imaginative faculty of your mind. Once you plant that thought, which is, for example, I want to make this girl my girlfriend, we're using as an example. Once you plant that thought in your mind, the synthetic faculty of your mind first which deals with things of reasoning and experiences, would begin to bring into your mind suggestions on how to convert that planted thought into a physical equivalent. Now, if the synthetic faculty of your mind is insufficient to bring about the realization of that thought, your mind automatically steps it up into the creative and the imaginative faculty of your mind. You begin to think of ways to realize or to crystallize the thoughts you've planted in your mind. It is very important. Listen, I'm here today in America, in Sanford. It's amazing how this happened. 10 years ago, when I was in Nigeria, I pictured myself studying abroad and I pictured myself living abroad. And that has become a reality today. Because when I planted that thought into my mind, suggestions came to me, ideas came to me on how to crystallize that thought. And because I've learned this, I'm beginning at this time of my life to begin to crystallize, to begin to think about my future and begin to plant positive thoughts about a great family I would like to have, about my financial status 3 to 4, 5 years from now. And because I have planted those thoughts of 5 years from now in my mind, ideas begin to come into place on how to crystallize that thought. Friends, it's important for you to control your mind, guard your mind, and only plant thought that would lead you in the direction you want to head. Don't think negative thought about yourself. Think positive thought, and remember this: if your mind cannot conceive it, your hands will never handle it. I love you guys, and remember to like this video, leave a comment, share, and subscribe. Very important. Make sure you share this with every single person, because I believe everyone needs to hear this. And I'll see you next time on my channel.